I found the screenshot picture I'm going to use for this story.
And I think I might need to put stilts on because this head's so huge, I look really squat and weird in it. You know, I'm not exactly the tallest guy, so.
Rock, metal, prog, and everything in between. Welcome to this episode of Talkin Rock with Meltdown. Don't forget to follow the audio-only Talkin Rock podcast on all podcast platforms. And now, it's time for today's conversation. Here's Meltdown.
Well, we meet again to talk hot sauce. Hey, Barry, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So you got the 3 hot sauces out now. And I was going to take I took a picture. I'll post that in the story. But I made my eggs after my workout this morning. I thought I'm going to try these hot sauces again. So you got attention, of course, Devour, and the classic Symptom, the Chipotle garlic one. But this isn't just like you guys kind of doing a thing. This has really turned into a thing, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. It was kind of because I have such a love affair with hot sauces, and because we spent so much time creating these with Torchbearer, the company we partnered with, it's more than just a novelty thing. Like, oh, here's a generic hot sauce, throw your name on it and call it a day. We actually spent time making these, and it's been a passion project of mine, and it's been fun. It's bittersweet to release the last one of the series. But I'm kind of glad they're all out there, so now people can taste them all, and I don't have to keep secrets anymore because I hate to keep secrets. But through all this, and after visiting they're based out of just outside of Harrisburg, PA, in Mechanicsburg. I visited the factory, and they're just nice people, and we had a good time. We were making some of the attention sauce that day, and Vid, the main guy there. He was like, maybe we'll do this again in the future. This was fun. And I was like, okay, yeah, let's do another one. So you never know. I mean, it was rumored at, but as of now, this is it.
So you've been a fan of hot sauces for a long time, but now you are kind of like in the hot sauce world, aren't you?
Yeah, and it's weird. Like, I'm getting ready to go to the New York Hot Sauce Expo in Brooklyn soon, and all these different things that is completely different to me, but I assume it's kind of like the NAMM show that all the musicians go to with all the new gear. This is the new hot sauce for the year, and they're gonna have all their events and a bunch of people way too drunk and eating too much hot sauce. So I'll have a good time. I'm looking forward to it, and I love visiting New York. It's been a minute, so yeah, this is a different world, and going to visiting these, like, I think they have me in January of next year going to like a Fort Lauderdale food festival where there's gonna be cooks, and I might partner up with a chef and hang out and do it. It's something I never thought I'd be doing as a drummer for a rock band, but it's a lot of fun.
No question. And I was talking about this with someone earlier today, but bands have so many products out. Sammy's got his tequila, and I guess as long as it's authentic and it's something that you really enjoy, which you do, then people kind of see that.
Yeah, I think that's important. You can see sometimes with, take a band like Kiss, they'll put their name on anything as long as it sells. And Gene's very open about that, right? But it kind of takes something away from that. Then you're just looking for the almighty dollar. And look, we all like to get paid, and bands are glorified t-shirt salesmen these days. They make most of their money off of the merch booth. So please, when you're going to see your favorite bands out there, everybody listening, support them by buying a t-shirt, because that's where they make their paycheck. But I like the authenticity of this and of bands that do that. You look at Offspring. He's got his own hot sauce, the Gringo Bandito. It's a very good hot sauce, and it's because he wanted to do that. It's a very Mexican-inspired, Tex-Mex-inspired, Southern California-inspired hot sauce, and it's really good because he was part of it, and that's the cool thing.
Yeah. So are you like I'm not a super hot guy. I like attention, but it's not my favorite. I think Symptom's my favorite, followed by Devour. That's how it goes for me. But that being said, attention is hot, but it's not overbearing. So do you is it the hotter the better for you, or how do you like it personally?
For me, it's all about flavor, and especially with these 3, I didn't want anything that was going to take your head off. I didn't want Butt Burner 3000 to be the sauce. To me, those are novelty. When it's just to take your head off, that's novelty. Like the Bomb, which is I have in my fridge. And you see that one on Hot Ones all the time. That's the one that once you get to that one, it's a different ballpark. That's just heat. And I have it, and I actually can withstand that kind of hot because I'm insane. But it's not for everybody, and I think it's all about flavor than it is heat. Now, do I eat those crazy hot sauces? I do, and Torchbearer makes quite a few too. I think Zombie Apocalypse is one of theirs that I've got a sticker on the back of this computer that says I survived the zombie apocalypse, because I did. But it had flavor to it, and I enjoyed that. So the heat doesn't matter as much. I prefer hotter things, but I've built up a tolerance over the 30 years that I've been into hot sauce. So it's different for me. But for those of you like yourself that don't really like super hot, that's why we have Symptom. It's still a hot sauce. It's full of flavor, but it's not going to take your head off.
Well, I would suggest anyone like myself to try Attention because I didn't find it like extremely hot. It's obviously warmer than the other two, but it was fantastic.
Yeah, it's got that habanero, which is going to give you that initial heat on the front of your tongue. That's what habaneros do. Habaneros have that thing. It's almost like it bites the front of your tongue instead of warming you all the way down your throat. It's like instant, like, oh, there it is, and then it goes away.
Yeah.
But yeah, intentionally with the amount of the mango and the vinegar in there, it's not as hot as it could be because habaneros can be very hot. But I didn't want that for the fans out there. I wanted them to have a flavorful sauce that they can enjoy.
Now, during the pandemic, when everything was locked down, I was watching this series on Netflix, and I just thought about this as you were talking about it. But it was all these crazy, wild sports around, the world or something. But one of them was the hot pepper eating contest. Did you see that one?
I didn't see that, but I think I need to go look that up tonight.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what the name of the series is, but I won't give away too much. But let's just say there are some people out there that can eat hot things, and it doesn't affect them at all.
Yeah, I'm not one of those. If I do the super hot stuff, it's going to affect me, and especially the next morning. And there might be some Tums involved, but I enjoy that rush. I do. I really enjoy the different thing, and I like trying the different. There's a difference between habaneros and ghost peppers and scorpion peppers and the bujolicas. They taste different. Yes, they're all super hot, but they have a different taste and they hit you differently. And I enjoy that. But again, like I said before, I'm crazy.
Yeah, right. It was interesting to watch the people just kind of bow out as it got hotter and hotter, and then the final people. I mean, you think you're crazy?
I don't have that. I mean, if you gave me a raw scorpion pepper and said eat this, I would say absolutely not. I'm not doing that. That's not fun.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm kind of with you. So before we move in on to what's going on with the band and stuff, so where can people get this?
If you go to shinedown.com/taste of madness, that's
Oh,
where you can get it. So it's real simple, and on there also is a bunch of recipes that I wrote for these hot sauces, so you can kind of try them in a recipe form. I was happy to share some of my family recipes as well that I kind of incorporated these sauces into.
yeah, that's awesome. I was just glad I had some in my refrigerator today because having a 21-year-old son, I thought they would have all been gone by now, but I think you didn't see them yet. So
Just keep them hidden in the back because as kids go, and especially at 21, they don't dig further in. They just go for the thing at the front that's easiest.
that's right. So, well, anyways, we'll push people towards the website and, of course, Symptom and Devour, Attention, and definitely a great project for you. And I'm really happy for you guys, especially yourself. I mean, this is your thing.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's funny. The guys in the band don't really eat hot stuff, so it's been a torturous battle for them making them try it. But it's been a blast.
Yeah. So what's going on with the band? What do you guys have happening right now?
We're currently writing whatever the next record's going to be. I'd say we're roughly halfway through. I've recorded, I think, 6, 7 songs for it. I know there's active writing going on right now. I think Brent actually might be up in Charleston right now. I can't keep track of him. He's always bouncing around from hotel room to hotel room. But we're actively writing. I expect to, and the plan is to release some music this year. Some new music this year, and then record probably early spring of next year or springtime of next year, and start touring March of next year. I mean, we're not slowing down. I think with the awesome success of Symptom and how broad that new audience got, it would be a shame to go away and not let them experience a live show. Because I personally think with Shinedown, yes, I'm very proud of our records and I think our records are great, but you don't really become the super fan until you see us live and get that whole vibe and really see it. And that, because Brent's so good at, interacting with the crowd and bringing them into the show. I think you go to the concert going, oh, I really want to hear that Symptom song. And then you go and go, oh, they're that band. This is fun. And then they're hooked.
Yeah. You guys have become one of those bands that has this huge catalog and there's probably people out there, like you say, going, oh, these guys sing this. Okay. Yeah. Throw fire show.
Yeah. You've been there since day one. You've played them all.
I have. I've watched you guys play acoustic right up to your last, arena show. So I've seen them, everything in between. So yeah, no doubt. So when you record, so you said you got 6 songs that you've already laid down tracks for. Are you listening to a demo in your head, or how does that work?
Yeah, for me, a lot of times they'll send the demo. Eric will send the demos over to me with like just basic drum machine tracks, just placeholder tracks. And I'll listen to it to get, and sometimes depending on the song, I'll make a small like Cliff Notes chart of, okay, verse, chorus, how many beats per fill here, that kind of thing, and write out my little Nashville chart. Sometimes I just wing it, and sometimes when we go in, we have the song, but might want to make a change, or we accidentally stumble across something. So then we'll take it piece by piece. Okay, let's get some really good verses. Let's get the choruses, and then let's work on this new section that we're thinking about, and just vibe back and forth on it till we make that transition, maybe a pre-chorus or something like that. So it varies, but I'm usually sent some sort of a demo form of the song to listen to, because I like to come in prepared. Can I play it right then? Yeah, but I want to be prepared. So I've thought about the vibe of the song and drum tones, and hey, maybe this snare would sound good. Maybe these cymbals would be the cymbals I'd want to bring and use. And maybe this fill might be cool, this fill might be better, and then Eric and I fight over it for hours, and then we come up with what we come up with.
And by this time, has Brent written out all the lyrics, or is he a guy that comes in later, or because first, or well, how does that work?
He's pretty early on the game. The lyrics are usually 98% done, if not fully done, and sometimes in the demo they're completely done. Those vocals you hear on the final product were the demo vocals. He's just kind of prolific that way, and he really wants to get the vibe out. So because the way I've always played drums with Shinedown is to the vocals more than anything. So I'm trying to really support what the vocals are and give lead ins and lead outs to whatever I don't want to step on those vocals. So sometimes, and you can hear it when singers put their lyrics on after the music's been written, that sometimes there can be this battle between drum fills and lyrics and maybe where it should have gone. And I think it steps on it sometimes. Sometimes it makes it cool. Like you listen to a band like Tool, most of the music is written, then it's handed to Maynard, sorry. Most of the music is written, handed to Maynard, and then he writes his vocals over that. So that's how they get that cool. It's just different. And it's like, only Maynard would have thought to sing that because the music's already there. We're the polar opposite. I want to support what vocals are already there.
What is the greatest drum fill in a Shinedown song that you've done?
I think the most recognizable is Second Chance. It's not a hard fill, but it's there. It's kind of that thing.
Yeah.
I think some really great fills on this last record. I think probably Planet Zero in that outro, and Dead Don't Die have some of my favorite fills I've done. But as far as signature, Second Chance for sure.
Yeah, Second Chance. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that when I asked you that question. That is a good one. Such a great song. I'll have to play that today on my show. Speaking of Brent,
from Phil Collins, by the way.
Right. Speaking of Brent, he actually gave me a question, and I thought this was super interesting. And he sent me, I don't know if you get these text messages from Brent. They're about this long, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
He wanted me to ask you about the guy who saved your career, a guy named Dom.
Dom Famularo, yeah. Unfortunately, he passed this past year. It was a sad day. He had a tough battle with cancer and stuff. But anyway, he is a drummer's drummer. Anybody in the drum community knows who Dom Famularo was. He did all the clinics. He was a motivational speaker. He put out all these books on motivational things, as well as drum books and things of that. And he would do private lessons. He never really played in a lot of bands necessarily. You wouldn't know him from bands as much as the clinics, drumming, and then his motivational speaking. He was just a happy guy all the time. So after Sound of Madness, I had not poor technique, but I had always played kind of with my marching band technique, which is very stiff. And when you're hitting that hard, and the amount of touring that we had done, I was starting to get really bad carpal tunnel in both wrists, and it was just killing me to where there were some times, even after icing, I wasn't able to play. And so we got done with that touring cycle, and I said, I got to do something. And his stroke is very loose and fluid, and he learned that from a lot of the jazz greats and the people he worked with and was taught by. And so I went to him, I said, Dom, I need your help. And it wasn't in person because he was up in the Long Island area.
Let me stop right there. So did you know him, or was he like, did somebody suggest him to you?
No, I didn't know him. I just knew of him and that he gave lessons and that he had that ability.
Okay.
And I had done one clinic with him, which I'll tell that story, I guess, separately, down at the University of Florida. I was invited to be a guest drummer with him because there was a book it's called Sticks and Skins that was put out, famous photos of drummers. And I'm blanking on the woman's name. She has also passed, sadly. And this was kind of a tribute. It was all her photography that she had done for like the Modern Drummer magazines and stuff like that over the years. And I was included in that book, and so was Dom. And so they were selling it at the University of Florida gift shop, and I was asked to be there. So that was the only time I had met him in person. And anyhow, I asked him, hey, can you help me out with this? And he did. We'd sit there and we'd work very slow on different techniques, and he loosened up my grip and everything just went away. And I haven't had a problem since working with him. And he was just such a mentor, such a sweet guy. He'd text me on my birthdays, and we just became good friends. And I became good friends with his assistant, Frank Perry, who I'm still very good friends with. I think I was outside of Dom's family. Frank called me. I was the first drummer outside of the close circle to know that he had passed. He was something special, and he definitely saved my career. It was game changing for me because I was going down a path that I was going to injure myself pretty bad.
Yeah, in your line of work, it's very physical, obviously. So, obviously, if somebody else is experiencing the same type of thing, you could help them with that or point them in the right direction as well.
Absolutely. I could help them with that. I'm not good at giving lessons. I'm not a great teacher. I'll be the first to admit it.
Well, I know that, but I'm just saying, like, theoretically, you could help someone now with what you've learned.
Absolutely. 100%. And I do sometimes, what's cool about the drumming community, with any band that we've toured with, drummers end up coming together and sharing their little techniques. And, guitar players hide everything. You can't see what I do. Drummers are open books. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is how I did it. Which is really cool with the drum community. And there's so many great teachers out there. I think I've done a couple lessons with a guy named Dave Leach. He played with Mars Volta for a while, and he's another one of these just fantastic teachers and drummers. And he's definitely somebody, if any drummers are listening and need some help, take lessons from that guy. I've taken lessons from him. Everybody takes lessons from him. He's got a whole different perspective. He's amazing.
Yeah, now that I think about it, as you were talking about it, I recall seeing your wrist kind of looser on stage and different things like that.
The biggest thing is the way you hold it, and it looks like I'm just killing the drums, and I am. But if you were to come up and grab that stick, you could whip it out of my hand easily. I'm barely holding on, and it's all about this. It's like throwing a baseball. It's that same motion, or bouncing a basketball. It's that same motion with a very loose feel to it, and that's takes all that shock out of your wrist and out of your elbow.
How long did you work with him?
On and off for probably a year.
Okay.
In between Sound of Madness and Amaryllis, really.
All right.
It wasn't a lot. I'd do a lesson, and he'd say, "Okay, now go away for a while and figure that out." Because it's starting at Mary Had a Little Lamb again. You have to change everything. It's like somebody saying to you right now, "Okay, now learn to throw with your left hand."
Oh yeah.
I'm starting over.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, well, let's lighten things up here a little bit. John, your head of security, is always good for a question or two.
You dug deep. Why would you go to that guy?
He always gives me good stuff, dude. He says, ask him about the fairies and wizards place in Amsterdam.
Oh, Chimera. I love that place.
Okay.
So it's a shop called Chimera. It's just outside the city center. It's right in the city center, in between city center and heading to the red light district. But it's this cool little shop. I went on vacation with my wife and kid, or my wife before kid, 20 years ago, I guess. We went to Amsterdam, and we stumbled across this little shop, and it was called Chimera. And it was smaller then. They've moved across the street, and it's bigger now. But it's just this weird boutique shop. You walk in, and you're in this fairyland village. There's trees in the middle with fairies hanging all over it, and these figurines everywhere, and the whole shop is just this fantasy world, and it's super cool. And so it's become tradition that I always go there and get gifts for my wife and my daughter now, and get these little fairy figurines and little gnomes and all sorts of cool stuff. I mean, I'm a super nerd. I love Dungeons and Dragons and fantasy books and things like that. So for me, it pulls at my heartstrings. I absolutely love it. If you ever end up in Amsterdam, it's worth visiting Chimera just to, and they won't let you take pictures or videos, so you can't take pictures in there. It's that cool, and that cool of a setup. So you just walk in, and it's just a little fantasy shop. It's neat.
Well, speaking of other stuff like that, he also wanted me to ask you about your Krampus and pagan lore. Now Krampus, I really enjoy that.
Yeah, Krampus is a Eastern European lore, and it's kind of like the antithesis to Santa Claus or Saint Nick. It's if the kids are bad, Krampus is coming for you.
That's right.
and he will beat you with a switch, and if you're really bad, he will throw you in his sack and eat you. And it was, it's great kid control for the year. Hey, don't be bad, or Krampus is coming for you. And so John and I have always kind of wanted to go to one of those festivals because they have huge Krampus festivals in Eastern Europe that are just insane, where everybody's dressed in Krampus and they're rolling down the street with these bags and they're dragging fire behind them in the parades, and it's just ungodly, just strange and weird and scary, and I love it. And so John and I actually got Krampus mask, really, from Krampus Masks USA. I'll show you.
Yes, I want to see this. Now we're getting somewhere. Yes. I found the screenshot picture I'm going to use for this story.
There you go. Use it. Yeah, this thing is fantastic. The eyes light up. This is going to be me for Halloween, and also Krampus Day, which is in the beginning of December. I think December 6th.
That is incredible. Where did you get that from?
Krampus Mask USA. It's a handmade. He only makes a handful every year, and John and I ordered ours last year, and finally got them just at the end of the beginning of last month is when they finally came in. And this is all carved out of wood. It's 100% wood.
Holy crap.
Piece. And then this is all fur from, I believe, Norway. It's beautiful.
That is incredible, dude. Do you have like what are you gonna wear like on your body?
I haven't figured that out yet. If you look at like traditional Krampus, he's either in like a beat up, like a burlap robe with a big old leather backpack, and sometimes they're in like a little more, think medieval looking demon kind of thing. So I'm not sure, and I think I might need to put stilts on because this head's so huge. I look really squat and weird in it. I'm not exactly the tallest guy. So
You know that about me for sure too. And one last thing from John here, and then we'll cut you loose. He said, ask him about the Dropkick Murphys show at Hellfest. I don't know what that means.
Oh, what an ass.
Answer any of these questions, by the way.
No, I'll answer it. I'm an open book. I don't care. I can embarrass myself. So we play Hellfest. This was a couple years back, and we saw that Dropkick Murphys was on the bill later in the afternoon. We were kind of at the noon, 1 o'clock slot at Hellfest over in France. This is in France, just outside Clisson, I think. Yeah, I think Clisson. It doesn't matter. Hellfest in France. They're having record heat waves, 100 degrees in France, which is unheard of over there. And they don't really use air conditioning. So you show up to this festival and you have your trailers. It's 100 degrees outside. It's 110 in your trailer. And we're playing at noon when it's 110 and the sun's straight on the stage. It was miserable. You walked into catering and it was so hot you couldn't eat the food. Like they're putting out sushi and catering and it's 100 and something degrees and you're like, I don't even happen to have an appetite. So we played the show, and it was a good show, and it was only like a 30, 40-minute set. We came off stage, and Eric and I were having heat exhaustion. We were not feeling good. We just sat there for a while outside the dressing room, just dripping sweat. Can't get cool, can't get comfortable. So finally, our buses had to park football fields away. We had to get a ride on the buses. It's a massive festival. So we have to get a ride to the buses. The only safe haven was the bus because the generator was running. We can get some air conditioning. So finally, we're feeling a little bit better. Pound of Gatorades. We get over there. Get to the bus, and I'm like, oh no, the heat got to me. I've got to use the bathroom. Really bad. And so I go, there's just portalets over by the buses. And I go into this portalet and do my business. I look to my right, no toilet paper. Dropkicks is starting. Okay. And I'm like, I got to go see them. There's no toilet paper. I'm begging for help to anybody that walks into this bathroom. They all speak French. None of them are helping me. And so I end up ripping my shirt off, finishing my business. And I get out and I make it to stage in a different shirt. And meanwhile, I'm in the bathroom trying to text somebody in the band. John, I need your help. Eric, I need your help. Brent, I need your help. Somebody help me. No cell service. It's not going through. I'm stuck. And so I get out, I go get another shirt off the bus, I haul ass to the Dropkick stage. I show up and John's standing there side stage, smiling, watching Dropkicks, and he sees me, he's like, why'd you change your shirt? And I'm like, well, here, let me tell you a story about wiping my butt with my t-shirt. So yeah, that's the story. That's so rock and roll, right? It's just a glamorous life.
What an ass John is for giving me that story. I'll tell you. He's a good Well, listen, Barry, we'll let you loose, and can hardly wait to see you in person again. This is our second interview, just about the hot sauces alone. I'm trying to think. I know I've interviewed you before, but it's been a long time. I interviewed the entire band back in the day with Jason and Brad, so I have a picture of that somewhere at my house, hanging on the
You and
wall.
I haven't done it very often because, as you know, Brent's the talker.
Yeah.
Uh, but anytime you want to say hi, I'm always open. It's always good to see you.
Well, dude, always great to see you. Thank you for everything. I love that Krampus. You in any other horror movies or?
I love horror movies.
Dude, you and I.
Yeah, I like more suspenseful, less slasher. I
Okay.
like the
Well, there you
supernatural type stuff.
I just saw Strange Darling over the weekend, and I highly suggest it.
Strange Darling, writing it down.
Yeah. And last night I actually saw Blink twice, which I thought was pretty decent. And Long Legs I thought was good. Have you seen that one yet?
I haven't yet because I tend to wait because I like to be on my couch in my surround sound. I don't like to go to the theater that often. The last one I saw in a theater was actually with John, and we saw God, what was that movie? It was a couple years back. It's gonna drive me crazy. I'm blanking on it.
Was it a horror movie?
It was a horror movie where the psychiatrist got possessed. Throughout the movie, it was a possession type movie, and I think they're doing a sequel this year. I don't know. Next time I see you, I'll go, "Oh, that's the movie."
Well, Strange Darling was really cool because first of all, there's six scenes in it, and they start with scene number 4. And so
Oh, wow.
you got to kind of piece it together. And I heard somebody talking about this. Do you remember the last final scene in The Joker where Joaquin Phoenix is smoking the cigarette and the camera just slowly, comes in, and it's like it goes on forever? The last this movie probably only takes 3 to 5 minutes, but it felt like it took forever. But the girl acting was just incredible. It's
I
unbelievable.
like those movies. I like the movies that make you think and are have that suspense. And I love the more paranormal side of things. Ghosts, Exorcist is my all time favorite still to this day. Just that idea of that is, to me, that's better than for myself the Freddy Krueger's, the Michael Myers, where it's just a slasher. After that, I'm like, okay, I've seen enough blood and guts. I get it.
I do like those, like Terrifier and stuff. I call that movie dumb and fun. I love those kind of movies too.
They're classics, and those are fun to watch in a group setting.
Yeah.
But you're not going to take it serious. If I want to watch one that's not going to let me sleep tomorrow, that's more my thing.
Right, exactly. It sticks with you for a few days. Well, listen, dude, thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Always great to see you, man.
My pleasure. Great to talk to you.